Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Ice Cold Takes podcast. I'm your host, Joey DeMaglia. The New York Rangers have continued to roll with wins over the Wild and Blue Jackets this week. They are 9-0-1 in their last 10 games heading into the bye week. Returning to the show this week is everyone's favorite, Bill Pidto. Welcome back to the show, Bill. How are you?
I'm great. I'm everyone's favorite except my own family, so that's good to hear.
Oh, come on.
I'm kidding.
Those MSG 150s are incredible. I told you last year when I had you on, we love them. Every time you and John get excited over Sam Reinhart scoring a goal, it's great. It's like a little inside. That's like a little inside joke, is it not?
Well, we've kind of made a little bit of a shtick, and it's what's really helped is that when I can do it, and Hank, Henrik Lundqvist, or Valaket, or Giannone are also in the studio, and their mics are on, so they can add a little bit of extra. That's I think added to the segment, and I don't know. I just started that deal with Reinhardt, and those guys jump in. It becomes kind of interesting,
Yeah, it's like a peanut gallery kind of thing. You guys just like the name Reinhardt, so you scream it out.
right? It kind of rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, it is a pretty cool name. But anyways, I wanted to start like last year, the Rangers and the Knicks. I know you cover the Knicks a lot too. You spend a lot of time over there on Knicks game nights. But both the Knicks and the Rangers made the playoffs. What was that like? You know, both teams in the same building, playing in the same building at Madison Square Garden, chance for a title. It hadn't happened in a few years, hadn't it? Had it not?
Well, the Knicks hadn't won a playoff series in 10 years, so them beating the Cavs was a big deal. And they also gave the Heat a nice run in the next round and very easily could have made the conference finals. The Rangers, unfortunately, had that great first two games against the Devils, and as we all know, kind of had a problem after that. But yeah, you get both teams going, and I think both teams can be in contention again in the playoffs. That's a real big thing for our network, and obviously a real big thing for Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, the Rangers, you know, by all means, they were considered favorites for the Stanley Cup. And you know, it was a disappointment that they got knocked out in the first round. But with the Knicks, it was probably like a successful season for winning a playoff round.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I think the Knicks are trending in the right direction. They lost last night to Boston. RJ's was not feeling well, had a migraine headache, and he has missed 3 of the 10 games. Without him, they're 0-3. With him, they're 5-2. I think the Knicks can absolutely win a playoff round. The question is, can they win a second playoff round? And the way the Rangers are playing right now, in hockey, the whole thing is just got to get in. I don't worry so much anymore about the regular season. When you look at what happened to the Bruins, for example, last year in the playoffs, or the Rangers got upset, just get in. And they're going to get in, and hopefully they can make her. I think Laviolette's been a great hire as coach, and I think that's really going to help them in a playoff series.
Yeah, with Laviolette, I wanted to ask you, like, what do you think about him? I mean, the turnover from Gallant to Laviolette, it seems like the players really enjoy having him around. They seem a lot more organized and stuff. What do you think about him?
I think these pro players, no matter how much they make, they like to be have a structure, have an order. And I think compared to how it's been here in recent years, I think the Rangers have much more discipline, much more organization in how they're playing. And look, they've been able to withstand the injuries here recently from Adam Fox, Filipino, and Igor Shesterkin, and they're still winning. So that says a lot about the culture that Peter Laviolette has been able to establish already.
Yeah, they talk about that no quit attitude, the resilience from the team, and it really doesn't even look like they're missing. They're without Fox or Heedle or Shesterkin. Eric Gustafson looks like he's been a pretty good player, filling in on that power play for Fox. He's made some really good plays. That guy looks like a really good signing for Chris Drury.
Totally. And Jonathan Quick, who was not good in the preseason, has turned out to be really effective as a backup. There was a lot of concern about him coming out of training camp, like, oh my goodness, this legend struggles, but he's been really good as a backup. And Trocheck moving up to that second line with Panarin and Lafreniere, that's worked out really well with Heedle out of the lineup. So, yeah, you got Gustafson in the back, really helping out, and Trocheck moving up to the second line, and with Quick, they've been able to withstand these injuries.
Yeah, and the Panarin, that line that you're talking about with Panarin and Trocheck and now Lafreniere, that looks like it's the Rangers' best line all season so far. What are we, about 15 games into the season now? So a good amount of games played, and so far it's been the best. But Panarin really has stepped it up this season. There was a lot of criticism amongst the fan base after the playoffs. I think he had 1 or 2 points in the 7-game series against the Devils. He's already off to a great start. 14-game point streak to start a season. That's the longest, tied for the longest in franchise history. 24 points on the year. What are your thoughts on him? How he started?
Well, he seems like he's getting along with the coach, and I think there may have been a problem there under the hood internally last year. And Panarin, as we know, didn't really play especially well in the playoffs. But he's here now. He seems to be committed to what they're doing. And these guys, Lafreniere, all Lafreniere talks about is how amazing it is to be on a line with Brett. And Lafreniere had a great game the other night with the 2 goals and the shootout winner on that amazing shot. You know, one of the themes has been that the young guys need to take the next step. Heel, of course, is hurt. But you have to make the case that Lafreniere has definitely taken the next step in his development. And that's huge for this team because they really need him to be consistent and good on that top 6.
There was a lot of expectations and disappointment coming out of preseason too. You mentioned it with Quick, and I think it was the same thing with Lafreniere. Is this the player though? 7 points in his last 4 games for Lafreniere. Is this the player? Do you think he can be that consistently? Has he ever overcome that disappointment, those expectations and stuff? Is this the guy that he's going to be moving forward?
Why not? I think a lot of it is confidence. You know, it's amazing. You look at what happened with Edmonton, and they hired the Hartford Wolfpack assistant Chris Knobloch after they made the coaching change. You have Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl saying that they just lack confidence. Lafreniere, these guys are human. I don't care how much they make, who they are. They're human beings. He has got to gain confidence, and I think that's what's happened here in the last couple of weeks. And that sometimes and oftentimes is all you need: belief in yourself. I don't care who you are, and it looks like he's starting to believe in what he can accomplish.
And so by getting that opportunity to play with Panarin and to not have it be just like a couple shifts, have it be a 15-game, 20-game stint where he could prove that he belongs there. You think that contributes to it as well?
Absolutely. You know, you get the opportunity and you make the most of it, and that's what he's doing right now. So it's a great thing to see.
And I know you're in the studio with Steven Henrik. What do they think about him and Panarin? Like as that as a combination. Like what are they saying behind the scenes? Like when you guys like during break.
Well, I think Steve, you know, he breaks these games down very closely, and he's very impressed with Lafreniere in terms of the strides. You know, he used the term confidence too. You get a nice run going, you're playing with top players, and you start to believe in yourself. So Steve has definitely made that point behind the scenes as well.
Mhm. Yeah, and last speaking of Henrik too, Lundqvist got inducted into the Hall of Fame last night. I listened to his speech, very very awesome. Great moment for him. Do you have any thoughts on that for Henrik having your colleague get inducted in the Hockey Hall of Fame?
You know, when you get to know or around a great player or a legend, you never know how they're going to be interpersonally. And I can tell you, Henrik Lundqvist is so cool. He's so approachable. He's so down to earth. He's just really happy to be on our team. He doesn't make any demands. He doesn't look for star treatment. He lets me bust his chops on the 150 when we bring up Swedish stuff or Sweden highlights or the Swedish language, or we try to bring him in on a goalie play or whatever. I'm just, you know, I'm in awe of him because of how he acts and who he is. And I cannot be happier for him. Obviously, I don't know him that well interpersonally, but I'm so happy for him that he got into the Hall of Fame.
It's weird. It's crazy too that, all these years that you've been working for MSG Networks, you knew Lundqvist as a player, right? Maybe not had a whole bunch of conversations with him, like interview wise, maybe a couple here and there, but that relationship going from player to colleague, how has that been?
Well, I didn't interact with him at all as a player. I'm not around the players. I'm not in the locker room. I don't travel. So I didn't know him at all. John Gino obviously has had a special relationship with Henrik because he's interviewed him after games for years. But he comes in there and he's just so cool. He's just like hanging out with a friend.
Mm-hmm. He's like a perfectionist too. I always notice that his hair is perfect. His suits are always top notch. Like he always with the goalie masks and stuff. He plays guitar. Fantastic goaltender, obviously. He could juggle. He's like and he's a pretty good analyst. I don't know. He's just all right at that. I don't know.
Well, he and Valaket, I think, are a heck of a team with Giannone. They do a great job.
Yeah, 2 goalies breaking down,
Yeah.
film. It's really awesome to see. I love the Rangers game nights. I'll tell you, like, just as fans, we're upset, like, when you guys aren't on MSG, like, when it's a nationally televised game, we're missing out on you guys. Like, we really and we're not just saying that too, like, just to, pump your tires up, like, we actually mean it because of the amount of work. I know you guys put in a lot of work for it. Steve, you, John, Henrik, a lot goes into the production team, of course.
Well, it's a kind of a labor of love, and I got to tell you, it really helps when they win, and they're winning, and I think they're going to continue to win.
Yeah, this bye week, sort of thing, heading into we could kind of look ahead to the first game back. They play the Devils. What do you look for in that game? Do you think that's going to be like a gritty battle, like maybe tempers flare a little bit? First game
I
in the
the
playoffs.
Devils, I think, have some concerns. Obviously, Jack Hughes is out. Nico Heischer's been out, and their goaltending may not be good enough. So I don't know that the Devils are going to be what they were last year. I think it's an interesting scheduling quirk that the Rangers bye week is here already. But hopefully Lindgren's okay. It gives Hedel and Fox some more time to heal up. I don't know that there's going to be anything special about that game against the Devils. It's just a resumption of the schedule.
Really interesting. Okay, yeah, and I think this is. I know you said it was a bit weird how they fit it into the schedule now. But I think the Rangers could really use it because Shesterkin's banged up. Quick was banged up a little bit when Domingue came up and started a game. Good for him, by the way, Louis Domingue. Spicy pork and what was it, broccoli?
Amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing he didn't get a NHL contract coming out of that series, but he just seems like he's a minor leaguer who can't stick, but he came through for the Rangers in that start, that's for sure.
I thought it was great. The reaction from the Garden crowd was awesome. Chants of Louis from the crowd, and he hadn't even played a game for the Rangers yet, but everybody knew who he was.
Right. No, totally. Well,
I,
because he was good for the Penguins.
yeah, yeah. How often does that happen? Where like you walk into Madison Square Garden and you never played a game for the Rangers there, but all of a sudden your fans, your home fans, are now chanting your name. That's got to be something special for Louis.
Right. Right.
Yeah. All right. So moving on to our last segment here. I was telling you about this before we started recording. We have the ice cold take segment. It's become a staple now of the podcast. The first few weeks of the season of this year. So I'll remind everybody watching at home, listening in the car, watching on YouTube. Definition of an ice cold take is an accurate statement backed by facts and observations that is solid in nature, similar to a block of ice, i.e., spot on claim. So, Bill, I need you to make like a prediction. It doesn't even have to be about the Rangers. It could be about anything in the NHL. Are we going to see a goalie goal? Anything? What do you think from here on out in the rest of the season? If you had to
And
make a prediction,
an NHL prediction:
yes,
Rangers are going to make the conference finals.
Rangers are going to make the conference finals. Okay. And how are they going to get there? Do you think they're going to go 7 games in both rounds, or is it going to be like they're going to cruise their way to the conference finals?
Can't make a prediction on that.
No.
That's too difficult, my brother. I just said they're going to get to the conference finals.
Oh, I like it. I like it. Yeah, that would for Rangers fans that would be awesome. I think that would be considered a successful season in my eyes, at least, especially after last year's disappointing playoff exit. We'll call it.
Oh, it'd be great. I think they can do it. They why not? And why not get to the Cup final? Why not?
Yeah, why not us? That's the slogan for a lot of teams, but I might as well steal it for the Rangers here. Off to a great start this year. Well, Bill, I appreciate you taking the time to come on the show today. Thanks so much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you for your flexibility with the schedule, and stay in touch. I'd love to come on again.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll get you on soon.
All
Take
right,
care,
buddy.
Bill.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.